Okay, so let me send an invite. Okay, okay. Are you in? Is everyone in now? Okay, Slade, you back in. All right, cool. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, everyone ready?
Yeah.
Just started. Like it.
Okay.
So everybody's just Yama now.
Yeah, looks like it.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to leave the party so that you guys can concentrate while I commentate. Right, so we've got the event 6 of the RideFast ESport Championship, which is at this very, very tricky circuit called Kimi Ring, which nobody's actually raced physically yet at. But at least we'll get a good look at the track, and we'll be able to see what we're in for when they do eventually end up racing on the circuit. Very long back straight, hard on the brakes, very much like Thailand, into a tight right-hander, and then a large series of left-rights, downhills and uphills. So this is the downhill section of rights, and we are going to get into the left-hander and then onto a little short back straight, and we will see what who sets the benchmark. So currently Rusty's on the quick laps. Seems like he's gone 2 red sectors in for a third. PDP's hasn't he's completing his lap, but he's picked up a penalty somewhere. So let's just join on Rusty and see what he's doing on the Ducati, keeping it extremely horizontal. Just a little bit ahead, looks like Darren or Himmelbeersum in the background there loses it in the last corner, unfortunately for Rusty. And looks like it's going to be Darren setting the Himmelbeersum setting the quickest lap on that monster Yamaha, 1:42.813. So expect a lot of little mishaps, because the guys will struggle on a circuit that we haven't actually seen racing on before. So good job there by Himmel, setting up a time of 1:42. Brandon's currently going quick, our championship leader. So he's going through the downhill sections of flip-flops onto the little short back burst. Now being followed by Himmel. So Brandon looks like he's going to set up a faster lap. Kewen going quicker there, snuck in at 1:42.6. So let's see if yep, Brandon does go quicker, 1:41.724. So he sets the pace, followed by Kewen on a just short of a second below him, and then Himmel just a second, little bit of time behind Himmel. Lurt coming in now with a very fast lap, only 1/100th of a second behind our qualifying leader so far on a 1:41.7. But Uncle Slade looks like he's putting a couple of sectors together there at the back. Let's just join on him. He's on the Petronas Yamaha. He's gone in red sector in the second sector. Let's see if he's able to hold it together to put another red together. Personal best. Not as quick, but definitely looking smooth. So into the last corner now. Tricky downhill, this little bit of a off camber right onto the straight finish. He'll definitely move up, and he'll move up to third, only half a second behind. So Brandon again putting a quick second and third sector together. Gets caught up in a little bit of traffic, not too sure how that will affect him. But we've got Rusty just ahead of him. Brandon improves his time, 1:41.712. Kewen on PBs in sector second and third sectors. Kewen on now to see if he'll be able to move up from fifth. Stays fifth. But look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 5 riders covered by just over a second. So the guys have quickly found their limitations on the track. Quick sector there by Himmel, in 6th place in the first sector. So let's join on the Monster Yamaha of Himmel and see if he's able to put another fast second sector together and keep it in the red. Just loses some time in that second sector while Brandon goes and puts in another fast first sector and goes red in that. Just nicely on the curves there, down this little hill into the double left, a little bit wide by Himmel. And that cost him, but he's still on orange, so he's still sitting a personal best time. While Killer Murray completes his best lap time, but 3 seconds off. And PDP also completing his personal best time. So let's see if Himmel does improve, goes ahead of Rusty with 2.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. So PDP also on the Petronas Yamaha, but in the test livery. Bike's looking a little bit banged up, probably from throwing it down the road once or twice. But onto this long back straight. Let's see if his sector goes red or orange and if he's able to improve. He goes orange, so he's busy setting his quickest lap time so far. and orange sector needs to find some time. He's got 3.5 seconds to make up on the leaders, who top 6 are covered by just a second, just within a second. But Kieran looking to change that, Slade looking to change that, so let's join on Slade. And have a look at the line he carries through here. Just nicely on the curves there. On the curve, apex is left. Short little bursts back straight, and then up the hill. Tricky little section this. Because as soon as you go wide, another apex on the right. It just touches the grass and loses his lap. Let's join on Brandon. Nice. Brandon through that right-hander. A little bit wide down the hill on the left there. You have to get on the brakes early, but gets a nice drive out of there. Goes red sector again into this last complex section. Up the hill to the right. And into the last corner. Tricky right-hander that with the left that jumps up on you. So 141.235 goes a little bit quicker. So we've currently got, with qualifying just ending, the laps that are busy now will count. So Brandon currently on a 141.2, half a second behind him Lewitt. Slade does stay in third, Yilmel fourth, Rusty in fifth, Kewen in sixth, Killer Murray in seventh, and PDP 3.9 seconds off in eighth place. So that's qualifying done, 141.2 the benchmark, 141.8 in second place, and then the 142s of Himmel and Uncle Slade and Rusty all very close at the top 3, 4, 5. There should prove to be some close racing there. Kieran as well with a 142.5, and then Killer Murray and PDP. So we'll see the guys making some final adjustments to their settings based on what they've done in qualifying, and we'll start racing underway at the Kimmering circuit for the RideFast magazine ESport event 6. It's a nice livery helmet, a nice RI there by Brandon. Some very nice work done by the guys. Bit of a slow start there by Brandon, I think. Struggling off the line. So Himmel takes the whole shot. But Lurt on the Petronas Yamaha getting a good run into the first section. Brandon finds his way back to the front, a little bit bunch up there onto the back straight, and let's see whose slipstream is who to get into this first fast right. So all on the brakes pretty much even, Lurt running a little bit wide, but just about holding it together on circuit. No one's gone down yet, which is very good for this tricky circuit. But Brandon immediately trying to stretch out a bit of a lead there in that first sector. So gets about just over half a second lead, followed by Lurt and Himmel. So it's all Yamahas 1, 2, 3. Uncle Slade in fourth. On the other pair of Petronas Yamahas doing battle with Kewen. And then just being chased in the background there by Rusty. So good race there at the back. PDP and Killer Murray on the Ducati, just making up some time in the rear there. So Brandon now with a 1.3 second lead. Stretches his lead out on Lurt. That first blind right-hander not catching out any riders yet. But interesting to see what motorcycle racing and Grand Prix does on this track. So Rusty going down there in that tight right-hander going onto the straight. Bit of a tricky, I think, off-camber right-hander, which you can lose a little bit of traction on if you get it in a little bit too hot. So Brandon now stretching his lead out to 1.7, 1.8 in the front. The name of the game is to be smooth, gets it nice and sideways, but that's Brandon's style. Stay within, oh, just about keeps it together, almost loses it, and almost loses the lead into that right-hander, but Lurt keeping him honest. 2 seconds there, looks like Lurt's under pressure now by Himmel Beersum, so let's have a look at the dice that's happening there. So Himmel just about staying in touch with Lurt, and Kewen and Slade having a very good race there for 4th and 5th. No team orders. And the guys carrying a nice speed onto the start-finish straight. Up the inside goes Slade just briefly, and through the flip-flop carries the inside line. Let's see if Kewen's able to get the drive down onto the straight, or at least get into Slade's slipstream. Slade's slipstream. fast down there, and then heavy and hard on the brakes. But looks like Slade's actually managed to pull away a little bit from Kewen and possibly making some time up on Himmel. So Himmel staying on the back of Lurt, and now this is going to be a 3-rider battle for 3rd place in a minute, while Brandon stretches out a 3.1 second lead in the front. And Rusty is just 5.5 seconds off. Let's see how far he is off Kewen, but keeping it nice and smooth. I think he realizes if he does keep it smooth and the guys ahead of him make any mistakes, he'll be able to take advantage. Nice line through there by Rusty, just using as much of the circuit a little bit wide as possible. So now we've got the battle for second, third and fourth still developing. Slade just catching Hamel. 4 laps out of 7, so still 3 to go. Rusty losing it there in the background, just in the last corner again. Also off camber right hand onto the start finish straight. As you can see there, the guy's compressing that front end, keeping it, trying to keep it steady. And Slade just going off on the grass, going sideways and managing to keep the bike upright. So he lost a bit of time there on Hamel and has fallen back into the clutches of Kewen, who now is going to find a way to make up it. Slade, very nice, very good on the brakes there at the end of that circuit. Almost makes up the time that he lost on Hamel just in braking at the end of that straight. So let's have a look at Hamel here. As you can see, a very nicely turned out RI helmet that he's designed with the RideFast logo on the side and his number, perfectly matching the colours. So he's within striking distance now of Lurt for second place. Looks like we've lost Kidder Murray there somewhere. But pulling away from Kewen, so Kewen not within striking distance of Hamel. But Kewen and Uncle Slade still together there at the 4th and 5th positions. So let's listen to the gearing down the straight. Nicely set up gearing, just hitting the top of 6th gear at the end of it all. Let's see the line carried through here. Nice and precise. Through the flip-flops. Nice change of direction. Just got to be careful not to run wide here, but carrying enough speed to pick up a nice line through this left-hander and onto this little straight. And then this tricky double right. Always difficult because you tend to run wide there, but then hit the apexes going over the hill and into this blind right. And we see Brandon just disappearing in the background, in the front ground I should say, and Lurt holding a steady second place now. So Brandon nice and comfortable at the front, still holding a steady pace, 5.5 seconds now his lead. And let's follow him and see on this penultimate lap what a good line looks like through this back straight. Nice and steady, back wheel staying on the ground. Many people struggle to keep the back wheel down, but Brandon keeping it very nice and smooth through this flip-flop section. So Hamel now pulling away from Kewen. And Uncle Slade not able to just stay onto the back of Kewen, but holding a steady and easy 5th place. So we've got pretty even splits in the top riders. Nice helmet design there by Uncle Slade. So on the final lap, we've got Brandon in front by 6.2 seconds. Lurt in second, Himmel in third, all Yamaha top three. And then the two Petronas Yamahas of Kieran and Uncle Slade. And then the only Ducati in the field, Rusty, going down this back straight. So we don't know if that's an indication of how the Ducatis will perform on this track eventually when they do come back here next year. No racing on this track this year, with the calendar being announced last week. Very nice turned out helmet design there by Rusty. So Brandon in this last section now, going up and over the hill. One more corner to go. Should have this win in the bag. Smooth and consistent. Even does a bit of a showboating wheelie for us and finishes first. Lurt in second place. Good ride by him. Himmel in third. Solid podium finish. Slade not finishing too far off. Kewen, sorry, in fourth. Slade in fifth. Slade just bombing it over the line there. Rusty finishes in sixth place. And PDP just outside. So there's our final times. Fastest lap 140.8, so he went even quicker in the race than he did in qualifying, with the rest of the field all staying in 141s and 142s. We'll have some wild cards for race 2, so stick around and join us for the next race at Brno. Okay, so we've got a couple of new names that you'll see. Fatboy Fast 83. Actually, that is, you'll know De Bruyton from the B League. He's using a different profile for the A League race. And we'll join the guys and watch some qualifying to see who sets up the benchmark times. Uncle Slade looks like he's getting out first. But looks like Brandon's further on the track. Brandon in this bottom middle of the circuit section. Up Horsepower Hill. Third sector red for Brandon. So Brandon looks like going to be the first guy to set a time. And then we've got Kieran in red sectors, Rusty, Lewitt. But definitely it's going to be difficult, I think, to see Brandon does a 151.3. So everyone else's sectors turn into oranges immediately. So good work by Brandon, putting in a 150.1213. 0.9 behind him is Lurt. The Patronus Yamaha. Then we've got Rusty, who's looks like he's keen to improve on things from the last race. The Sol Ducati in the field. Goes up to second on that last lap. So moves within 1 second of a very quick Brandon. So let's follow on the back of Rusty and see how he's got his bike set up. Unfortunately losing it on that downhill right-hander. Has to restart his lap. So Lurt stays in third. Restarts his lap. Killer Murray on some quick personal best times as well as Kewen. And Himmel now in fourth, 2.1 seconds off of the pole time. But coming towards the end of his lap, let's see if he moves up, stays in fourth. Let's go back to Kewen. So Kewen trying to improve from ninth. Has got oranges on all four sectors, and wow, Kewen goes really quickly and puts in a lap that takes him to second place. Front row start on the grid for this qualifying session. PDP currently on his personal best times. Just loses in that right-hander. So let's see if PDP is able to improve on 8th. Does improve, moves up to 7th place. Himmel now doing his quick laps. Looks like Brandon's out in circuit, went red in his first sector with 1.5 minutes to go. Going up horsepower hill now, Brandon, into the last left-right before the start-finish straight. So if he keeps a steady line through, it takes a wide sweeping line. If you look there, he pulls it left to carry a fast line through here, as opposed to his teammate Brandon, who seems to cut straight into that turn. So stays in 5th place. Slade now in 6th, also going orange sectors. Up horsepower hill. See if he's in. Oh, gets it hard on the brakes into that left, but has to restart his lap. So all that work done, he's got 25 seconds to cross the line before he loses the opportunity to improve on 6th. Looks like he'll make it across the line to do one final lap before the end of qualifying. Rusty on some personal best laps there as well. He's currently halfway through his lap, so we'll join on him and see what the factory Ducati rider can do up in this last sector. It goes White's a little bit slower there. Maybe he can make up time in this last left-right. before heading it onto the straight. So 3 comes, ends his qualifying and stays in 3rd place, but if nobody else makes an impact on that, I think he'll be happy with the front row start, all things considered. So PDP putting in some orange sectors. He goes into the last left right. See if he keeps it together, gets the front wheel in the air. And stays 7th. So stays 3rd row on the grid. Lurt in the final corner. He's currently on the 2nd row of the grid in 4th position. And that's where he will start from. Slade going orange sectors. So we left him a little bit earlier when he started his lap. So just maybe being a little bit distracted there by Fat Boy Fast. The Bri Boy is more affectionately known. And then that will be the qualifying time. So Brandon sits on pole again, 151.2. Only rider to dip into the 151s, followed by Kewen, Rusty, Lurt, Himmel, Fat Boy, Slade, and PDP. So let's see who gets the whole shot into the first corner. Tricky first corner if you don't get it right, but you're able to carry a lot of speed and brake quite late and trade it into the first corner. So Brandon getting a much better start, front wheel in the air, much better than the first race, but into the first corner it looks like Lurt dives up the inside. Take the lead, but Brandon getting good drive on out of that first corner to take the lead over. So we lost 2 riders into that left-hander. PDP unfortunately looks like he not only lost his bike but also lost his connection to the server. So Brandon in first, Lurt in second, Himmel doing a good job in third, Slade in Fat Boy in 4th, Slade in 6th, Rusty in 7th, and Kewen in 7th, Rusty in 6th. So Lurt's going to do everything he can to stay on the back of Brandon, followed closely by Himmel. Horsepower hill, a bit of a much tighter line there by Lurt, not using all of the circuit. It looks like we lost Rusty in that chicane there at the back. A little bit of a mistake there by Lurt. Maybe rode the curve a bit too much and allowed Brandon to get away and stretch out just over half a second at the front. So we've got Himmel and Slade doing it looks like they're having a good battle there. Himmel retains and holds on to third. Slade taking advantage there and is able to get ahead of Himmel. Okay, so we've got Brandon still in the lead, Slade in second, Lurt now up to third ahead of Himmel. So Himmel dropping back there, losing some pace, and succumbing to the pressures of the two Patronus bikes. So Himmel going down in that left-hander hard into the tyre wall, but looks like, who was that? Lurt that went down with him. Sorry, that was Kewen. So Kewen going down and falling back to 6th place. And Himmel now in 4th. So Lurt and Slade are the ones battling for 2nd and 3rd. A little bit off circuit there by Lurt. And let's just see how far Rusty is off the back of Kewen. So he's still got a bit of time to make up of these two. Kewen now closing hard and fast on Fat Boy Fast. Just to make up some time after dropping it there in that last sector, or that first sector I should say, a little bit earlier. And obviously you can see the bike's looking a little bit dinged up as a result of that crash. So here's our race leader, Brandon, with a 3.9 second lead, 2 laps to go. Second place Lurt, followed by Slade, and Himmel just a little bit further back. So unless these two make any mistakes, I don't think Himmel's going to be able to get in touch for that final podium position. Looks like Lurt lost his front end there, but holds on to second place. So Himmel, Slade must have made a mistake in that first lap. So Himmel moves up to third, and in the final lap of this race gets his podium position with half a lap to go. Let's see if he's able to hold on. Or if Slade can pressure him into a mistake. A little bit wide there by Slade. So Brandon through the last turn. Brandon picks up the double again. 50 points in the bag. Cruises over the line with all the time in the world to spare. Lurt gets second place. Himmel gets his podium, makes it a monster Yamaha podium. Slade gets fourth place, albeit on its side. And there we have our results. So Brandon, followed by Lurt, Himmel, Slade, Kewen, Fatboy Fast, and Rusty. Thanks for joining, guys. See you on Thursday for the B-League race.